Hey everybody, what's up? Where I'm seeing us start within the energy is driving along the road, and then you have those flashing lights come on, and you see that you're driving up to the railroad tracks, and you have to wait as the train is passing before you can get to the other side. So I'm seeing something going on where it feels like you can't sort of continue your business until this thing happens, until this thing completes even. We are starting off with Four of Cups. I did another reading today that's going to be on the channel, and I was using a different deck, but we also started with the Four of Cups in that one too. And we have Queen of Cups next to it. So you can be not feeling 100% right now. You can be feeling a lack of connection right now. That means too that on the emotional front, maybe you've been going through a time where you haven't really been enjoying things, and you can want to be coming out of that space. Like, I don't want to be in this space anymore. I'm not enjoying being in this space anymore. I am seeing an Ace of Swords, which can actually be you coming out of that now. Maybe there's even something that you've realized at this point. I am seeing Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Maybe something about a relationship. Maybe this was what you needed too. Like, maybe you needed to become unhappy enough or be low enough for this to even occur to you in the first place. Like, to be open to something like this, like a realization like this. Which you can very much still be pondering. It's like looking around and not really feeling happy with anything. I'm not saying in every area of your life this feels more on the emotional front. This is what you've been feeling. You're looking around, you're not feeling happy with stuff. It's like just not really what you want. And having this Ace of Swords feels like something going on where you're starting to see things more clearly, and you can even have found an answer that you'd been looking for. Like, maybe something kind of, the clouds parted here and something came down from the sky, and you can be seeing things very clearly as it relates to your situation. But then also having Hermit here, it can indicate that you are still kind of like containing this within you. You definitely have not taken action on this, but it can be something that maybe you've realized now at this point. I feel like this is a solution to something that you've been dealing with. But your heart and your mind could have been kind of arguing with one another, but I'm seeing on the emotional front, you could have really felt like you were suffering because of this. Meaning, maybe your mind was like, we have to be doing things in this way, and emotionally you were like, I don't want to be in this situation, or I'm not liking the way that this feels, or I'm feeling empty here, or I'm like wanting a sense of connection, but your mind could have been like, we have to be doing this. And I see just this thing that's been going on here. But I feel like there's like one part of you especially that's maybe felt like you were empty, even empty, disconnected will be the feeling, and you may not want to be in this position anymore. But it means too that certain stuff has to be addressed. But having Ace of Swords be above it, I think that you can be admitting at this point in time, like, maybe there's no more denying. Maybe this has all been about getting to that point where that's where you are with yourself. Like, you don't want to reject. Wow, all of the cards. We will actually go through every single one of those that just came out. I feel you being in a space where for a while you could have been putting off like the way that you actually feel about what's been going on, and now you can be like, well, I may not like it, but I need to face it now because I don't want to keep feeling like this anymore. And it can feel like a really heavy thing to be admitting to now, the reality of what this situation is for you. But you cannot want to deny this part of you anymore. You can be like, I don't want to live the rest of my life like this, and if I keep rejecting this part of me that really wants to be incorporated and included because it's giving me information that I need about this situation and what I need to be doing here. But you may have not wanted to make a change, and this may require you to make a change if you want it badly enough. There is a need for you to mobilize things. It's going to be better. You will be better off for this. And then it's going to feel like you're not stuck in this space anymore. Because maybe that's the thing that I was getting in the beginning. It's feeling like you can't get on with the rest of your life. You're just sitting there waiting for this train to cross. And I think the train finishes crossing when you're ready to totally admit to the way that you feel, as heavy as it may be. You can be like not denying this part of your experience any longer. Maybe you want to dream a bit bigger now. Maybe you're becoming hopeful that like life doesn't have to be like this. It can actually be good. It can be better. There can be a bit of an identity shift that's going to be happening that can be involved in this, that maybe you're ready for at this point. Maybe it was something that you didn't really want to negotiate and you didn't want to... Maybe this wasn't on the table before and maybe it's coming onto the table now to be considered. Because you can be ready to... There's stagnancy that's felt within this. You may not want to feel that stagnancy anymore. You can be open to the change and the expansion now, but this also means that there's going to be role changes and expansions that will be happening too, where I don't think you're going to be doing the same stuff, showing up in the same way. There's something big time that's going to be shifting. But you can feel like you're ready for that now at this point. Like, I just get you kind of hitting a glass wall here, and you've been there for a while, and it's going to take you changing lanes, and you may not have wanted to change lanes, but maybe it like got bad enough that you're like, now I'm willing to, or it got like empty enough for you to want to now, because you're looking around and being like, why am I doing this if this is the way that I feel about it? And I think that when you hit a moment like that, it can make you more open to stuff that you weren't open to before. But now you can feel like you're not really getting anything from this situation, and you can be ready to make a change. Because it's like change actually does seem better than being in this repeatedly. I'm not saying this is ideally how things would go. I am saying it feels like you're understanding the bigger picture here and the pattern that's been taking place and what's been going on. You're in the process of working out what you want now, and what also you may have thought you wanted but then didn't materialize into that. And this can also feel like trying again. This can be like a restart that's happening. This can be a producing again within your life, meaning you got involved in something and you put your energy into it and you create whatever thing this is that comes from this. I feel like you are going to be birthing a new lifestyle. Because you can also feel too like the part of you that feels inspired, the part of you that feels connected, the part of you that feels in a flow state, you haven't been feeling like that within your life. And so this is something that's going to kickstart that for you, but it means too that you're going to have to admit what's really going on here. And that can be something where you maybe didn't want to do that because you know then that you're going to have to let go. And I think in a way that you may not have been open to before and you didn't really want to. And that's what the conflict has been. It's been like, I'm resistant to change. I don't really like the way that I'm feeling about this, but I also don't want to have to do anything to make a change here, because then things are going to change. But I think you're at the point where you're like, I actually do want things to change now because I don't want it to stay like this. So that's what I'm saying about getting to a point where it kind of becomes severe enough that you're like, never mind, it's fine, I'll make the changes that need to be made. But I do feel like you kind of got pushed to your limits here of this. Like, it just became so uninspiring. And you're like, okay, it's fine, I'll do it now. But this definitely was like a little bit of a game that you'd been playing with yourself, I think, to see how long you could go pushing this off. And now it feels like a point where you're like, no, it's fine. It's like you're playing along now with the game of life, it seems. Because I think you know too that the energy wants what's best for you, and your feelings are not just emotions and on a surface level. On the surface, your feelings are connected with deeper messages that you get. And when you put them off and push them away and reject and deny them, you end up in situations like this with things feeling like this, and you don't want to be feeling like this anymore. So it feels like, now I'm willing to listen. And you're listening to yourself here. That's it. It's not like somebody coming through and telling you what to do here. This is just you tuning into your own energy and putting the earbuds in that you had been. It's like every time they started getting close and you started hearing the messages, like taking them out. When really it's like, it's been giving you guidance this whole time. I just think that it's guidance that can have been rejected because it meant that you were going to have to do something that you were feeling uncomfortable about and you didn't want to. And that's also fine too. We have to go through that. You know, we can be very rebellious within the energy until we look around, rebellious towards ourself and like our better knowing and the guidance that we get, until we get to a point where it's like, I don't want to be in this position anymore. I don't like this spot that I'm in anymore. And I don't like it enough to actually be, I'm receptive now. And it's funny too, because it's like all along you knew that if you would listen to the guidance, it would allow things to get better for you, like life to get better, you to enjoy things, you to feel connected. So it's like automatically you know what to do. Like when you don't want to play this game with yourself anymore, you know, you just tune in and then it tells you what to do and then you're ready to do it. But I just get this kind of like, I feel like this version of you that gives you guidance is like a guide for you, like a parental figure for you, and you can be feeling very rebellious, like, I'll figure it out myself, I don't want to have to listen to you. And then it's like you hate the situation that you're in, or you don't like it anymore, or like life is just not feeling too good, and then you're like, fine, I'll listen, because you know it knows best for you and it wants best for you, and it will, like, actually taking those steps, even though they feel difficult, it will cultivate the type of life experience that you want to be having. So you've just like gotten to this point with yourself is what I'm seeing. And this is going to allow for things to come into a place of balance and feel stable in a way that you want those good things to stabilize within your life, rather than you staying stabilized in apathy. In some ways, this can come as a big surprise for you. Like, this feels like a really big revelation that you're having about what you're going to feel happy with and where your happiness is and what that involves as well. Because maybe this even pushed you into a reflective period where you're looking around and you're like, well, I'm actually not feeling happy with this, or I'm not feeling fulfilled, or I don't feel at peace. I know that there's something within me that's saying like I don't want to stop here. This is deconstructing blocks that you've been facing. Because life has kind of been seeming like it's been paused for a while in this area of your life. Something too about expressing grievances. For a bigger dream. Yeah, I'm definitely getting this thing of like, if I give myself permission to mobilize this advice and my feelings, there's a lot of anxiety about the future, and that can be something that's been kind of stopping you from moving. But you can want to feel good at this point, and so you can be more willing now to get things moving. But maybe you've been feeling kind of hopeless before, but now I feel like you are becoming hopeful again. I'm getting to that this looks like there's a role that you've been playing that I think you became like really solidified within, that now it feels like is coming to an end. And this can be a major role. It's like the role that you've been playing for 20 seasons within your life, that now it's time for it to come to an end. And there can be some shell shock that's associated with that for you. Because you can be like, this is such a big part of my identity, and to be evolving beyond this. Because it continues, right? The journey continues. It's time for you to become the butterfly in a different way. But I think like something that you grew accustomed to, you became very familiar, you knew the routine of it, like you knew the song and the dance about the whole thing. Now to have this thing where it's like, again, this huge part of your identity. I'm not saying your whole identity, but it feels like something that you've been doing for a long time, many, 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 many seasons. To hang that up, because you know it's time to be doing it, but I think it can be really difficult for us to let go of things. This is the season now for it to be happening, but it can feel really hard to let it go. But life goes on, like you're going to be stepping into a new era of your life now. That's what's going to be happening. But I think that it makes sense why there would be all of this resistance here, because when your heart is not, even though it's been for 20 seasons, right? But your heart's not in it anymore, not in the way that it used to be, because you're meant for something else now. You're meant to be doing something else. You're meant for a different role, and you're going to feel really lively in this next role that you're stepping into. But there is this ego death that is happening when you are so identified with something and it's time for it to come to an end, and we must give it up now. The outfit and everything that came with it, you have to hand it back. It was just a rental. But when we thought that it was going to be for life, it can be really difficult to give it back, because it's like, no, I wanted to keep this, even though you look at it and it's like that outfit in your closet that you look at it and it's kind of there for sentimental reasons, but you're never going to put that on and wear it because you have other stuff that you'd prefer to be wearing. It's just this moment where there can be a lot of attachment to this, and it can feel comforting because it's familiar, but you don't love it anymore. You're not in love with it anymore, and it's because you're ready for the new role. But I'm seeing this a lot of avoiding taking this step. There's been a lot of that. Avoiding change, avoiding change, avoiding change. I don't want to grow out of this. I don't want to expand. And it's like, you already have. But I think this is just that moment of admitting that to yourself. You're just admitting the truth. And that's why you've been feeling this way about what you've been doing too. Because it's time now. It's come time. And I'm seeing you've been stuck somewhere you don't belong. That's why you've been feeling this way that you've been feeling about it. But now I'm seeing that you are going to be moving forward. This feels like a really big deal. I feel like you're retiring something major within your life. But it's not like you're retiring and then you're out of work. You're going to be stepping into the next era of things, like the next role that you're going to be playing. And then that's going to be a whole journey. But it feels like you had this one long journey and then you're like, okay, that's it for me. I'm just going to do this for life, when all the signs are telling you that it's expired for you. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.